Okay, gonna try it again. Oh, I was online the other night because I'm home all weekend by myself. I got Thursday night that everybody left, and then they're not coming home until Monday night. So I got all weekend to do what I want. So I figured I'd watch some YouTube videos, right? Well, then that led to I was on the Money Smart Family's website and I found the video they did with spices. And she has hers so organized and so nice, and she has Lazy Susans and they're in alphabetical categories, so like A through D is on one carousel, and M through P is on another one and stuff. And I was like, I really like that. But she had this shelf that ran underneath like an upper cabinet between the longer cabinets, and she had her spice jars lined up. And they were talking about how spices do better in glass jars as opposed to the plastics that they come in. They tend to stay a little bit fresher in that. And I was like, okay, I got these really good deal on the Ball jars. They were $3 off coupons, and our Walmart had some cases that were marked down to $5. So for $2, I got a case of candy jars. I think they were pint size. Yeah, but I have jelly jars. I bought a bunch of those because I'm going to make jelly for the kids for the holidays because they love my jelly. But I figured, I got the jars. I'm just going to do it. Why do we have to have, like, look at this. Okay, I got a lot of stuff here. I mean, I use this stuff like all the time. But there's there's another one of garlic powder here somewhere. We have 3 open containers of garlic powder. Why do we need 3 open containers of garlic powder? I don't know. Look at this. 2 open ones of cinnamon. So, I knew that old spices, like spices that are past their date on their container, are still good. They don't get toxic, okay? Like medicines, if they go past their expiration date so long, they turn toxic. Spices don't do that. Spices lose their flavor and their potency, so you use a little bit more. You sometimes use twice as much, sometimes you use 3 times as much. But it is my goal for next year that I'm going to start using more spices. I want a variety of spices. I use like my garlic powder and Italian seasoning, parsley. I go through a lot of parsley, Himalayan pink salt, the ground pepper, but like stuff like ground mustard. I only use this in maybe 3 recipes, and I don't even make them that often. The ground turmeric, oh boy. In the wintertime, I go through this. This goes in everything. Soup, stews, meatloaf, meatballs, mashed potatoes, all kinds of stuff. I'm not talking like tablespoons full, but I use a little bit, and we don't get the flu. Okay, like when I first start cooking with this in the fall, I tend to use a good bit of it. Anything I put garlic in, I put some of this in. But my husband has Parkinson's, and he was a welder and everything, so he has a lot of built up toxins and stuff in his body from work and stuff, and every year I've noticed that when I start using this, when he sweats, it really smells for like 2 weeks or so. But after we're cooking with it all the time and we're using it, that smell goes away, and it's really weird. But I think it's this stuff. It happens in every fall when we start using this stuff again, and I use a lot of this. I use it in everything, all winter, fall through spring. It's a staple. In the summertime, not so much, because the summertime we just do like a lot of burgers or chicken on the grill, and I marinate it in different stuff. But I don't use this in the summertime because we're always grilling. It's too hot to cook inside, and I just open up a couple jars of whatever, and cook on the grill. We had the side burner on the grill, so we don't use a lot of spices. So my goal for next year is I'm going to start cooking with more spices. So to get me started, I've made my list of what I have. I'm going to go through my recipes that I use the most and see what I need. I'm making my labels, and I'm going to put these in my jars. I like the ease of the jars. I used to keep certain things in the little jelly jars that I use a lot because I like the ease of being able to just pop the top off, get my measurement, put the lid on, done. You know, whereas these deeper ones, like with the pepper, you know, you gotta get it to the side, and but then you get the little puff of the it's not smoke, but the powder cloud that comes out of it, you know. And I like the ease of the jars. So I'm switching over. I got out my label maker. I got my jars. I have stuff that did come in glass jars. And I'm just going to leave them in these jars because I don't use these very often. My black pepper, I have a black pepper grinder. I use this thing like every day. I even put this on French fries. And my husband's like, normal people don't put pepper on their French fries. I'm like, well, you know, I'm not normal. Like paprika, I don't use enough, but when I use, the only thing I use paprika for is on deviled eggs. So that I will like the shaker top for. So I will leave this in a jar because I don't like the shaker tops for the ball jars because the holes are so big. You know, so I don't find that to be very convenient. I like this, so this is definitely going to stay in here. But I started doing my labels. If you don't have a label maker, get yourself a label maker, not just for your spices. You know, they're expensive. So I want to try and keep them as long as possible, as fresh as possible. I'm not going to throw this stuff out. I'm going to find more uses for my ground mustard, and I'm going to use this up. I will use this. I don't know how yet, but I am going to do it. This, like cilantro, I've had this for so long. Oh, but you smell so good. And this was $3.99 for 1.5 ounces. That's $42.56 a pound. Even when this stops smelling so good. Yeah, that's good. I'm not going to throw this away. This will get used. Annette on the Money Smart Family was saying that she uses a lot of spices in her gravy. My gravy, I just learned how to make gravy in the past year and a half, 2 years. And I want to find her recipe on their website and try it this Thanksgiving because I'm really into learning to cook with different ingredients. My kids will tell you I was a cardboard queen when they were growing up. Now our youngest one, she's only 9. And then the older 3 are 22, 23, and 28. They don't cook like I used to. So Casey's more of a box queen. Nicholas, he worked in a restaurant and he worked for a great chef at Settlers Inn, and he taught him a lot. And Nicholas loves to cook. I just want to put everything into easy, convenient containers that I can measure out easily, and I will get back to you when I have the jars all set up. I just want to show you where my jars are going to go quick. Let me get over here. These are the new shelves that my husband just put up. See my brown sugar up there? That stuff like that will go in the bigger jars, but my little pints and half pint jars and my little jelly jars and that are going to go there. I used to have everything over here, and I put most of it in this because, you know, the stuff I use every day, my Himalayan pink salt grinder and my pepper grinder and my Italian seasoning and parsley and that, I put them in here because I'm so short I can't see the back there and I can't really reach back there. So this just made it super convenient to pull everything out. And I think I'm going to like the spices on the shelf and the jars because it's just going to look so pretty. After we paint everything and redo the kitchen and that, it'll look really nice. And I'm really excited about this. I'll bring you back when I get to the point where my stuff's all in my jars and I decide what I'm doing with them.